Everybody will get started in a minute as more people come on in. All right, guys, let's go and get started with our updates for the week. A few quick updates. The Cosmos Awards winners were announced. We will post the tweet up here so you guys can have a look. There are improved transactions on our website, where you can see the amount of time it's taking to mint your NFT. So a little bit more feedback on that. There are two proposals on Commonwealth. One to sunset the liquidity DAO and move liquidity management to the marketplace DAO, and another one to reduce the validator set to 100. This space is going to be a little different, more of an open space for people to come up and chat about what they've been working on, what they'd like to see, and just anything in general. And we do have Lava that did do the Lava Foxes that just minted out right as the space started. So congratulations to them. I think we're going to be holding the official space with you guys at another time, but I'd like to welcome you guys up here to just talk a little bit about the project and what you guys are up to.
Thank you so much. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and thanks everyone for coming out. Yeah, we just entered the first come, first serve phase, and I think it minted out in the first minute. So super excited for that. I mean, it's been a big week and a big month at Lava, and I'm happy to jump on and say a few words, answer a few questions. We're still running the gauntlet behind the scenes, so I am going to hop off at some stage, and we'll do the proper full space sometime. I think next week. That's the plan so far. So yeah, we've just minted the Lava Foxes on Stargaze. The whole experience, it was so incredible and fun all the way throughout. It was a huge learning curve for me. I've been in the NFT space before. I've been a holder. I've been all sorts of different roles in the NFT space, but I've never actually done the minting. So that was an amazing learning curve, and huge shout out to the Stargaze team for all the help that they put into making sure that the collection went out smoothly. And I think pretty much it went incredibly smoothly without any hitches from the user side. So shout out to them.
Yeah, thanks. Congratulations on the quick mint out. I already see some Lava Foxes in here. I guess you and Showboy. Would you guys like to maybe introduce yourselves?
Okay. GM Stargate, GM Ade. Yeah. I'm just so happy to meet the Lava Fox NFC. Yeah, I can see that they is also rocking the PFP and I'm rocking it. So I can't wait for what the Lava Fox NFC team has to offer for us, bro. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were on the Lava team. Saw the PSP upbeat.
That is a very great community member. It's yeah, so I'm the Lava representative today. So I'm community lead at Lava. Ade, nice to meet you. I've actually been on the job for a week, so it's a big first week to get us all started.
Oh yeah, what a job to take on your first week, huh?
Yeah, I think it's been about 8 days, and this was the very first thing, which meant that it was important to get it right. I really enjoyed taking all the necessary steps. We put a lot of thought into how we would do it to make sure that the right people in the community are all taken care of first. It was really quite a community first mint. The price was negligible. That was never the intention. It was really it was community PFPs and sort of the Genesis NFT of Lava. That was the main focus here.
Great. So now that people have kind of minted the NFTs, it's minted out. What can they expect? Like, what should they be doing next? Like joining the Discord or like what community activities?
Yeah, for sure. Well, of course, the main thing is always, especially from my perspective as community lead, it's really about community. So join the Discord. We can verify with your holder role if you want. The great news is we've got a community program it was in progress before the mint, and it's gonna pick up again right now that we've done the mint. So you can get involved in the community program as well if you want, and you can see the foxes on the timeline and on Twitter.
Okay, great. You know, I know you don't want to get too in depth onto the Lava stuff, but is there anything you want to mention about Lava Network, about what you guys do? Any future plans for the Foxes?
Yeah, sure. Let me just dive straight in. So from my perspective, I think the easiest way to explain it is anything that anyone does on chain, it needs an infrastructure service, and normally those infrastructure services They run through. There's a few great providers in Web3, but one of the things that Lava does brilliantly is a combination of quality service and low downtime and completely permissionless incentive pools. So if a chain wants to use Lava as their service provider, they can set up an incentive pool on Lava, and then the service providers will earn from that pool in exchange for their work. So I think that's one of the things that makes me really excited about Lava, is that no matter what anyone does on chain, whether you're minting an NFT, for example, or claiming an airdrop, whatever you do on chain, there's always a transaction or there's data, and it runs through the service that Lava provides. And we currently provide to 40 plus chains. There's hundreds of billions of transactions, or at least over 100 billion at this time. And that's the service that we provide to quite a few different chains, including Stargaze.
Yeah, I believe last year there was a proposal to incentivize LavaNet providers that passed, and that's kind of how this whole relationship blossomed.
Yeah, I think that's very true. That's a huge part of why we decided to mint on Stargaze, actually. And I think, without stepping on anyone's toes, there's going to be maybe a follow-up sort of article or something on the whole process of Lava being used by Stargaze to mint the NFTs. I think that would be really fun to see. But the relationship between Lava and Stargaze, it made a lot of sense. We're in the Cosmos ecosystem as well. Lava is a chain on Cosmos Hub. Stargaze is a chain on Cosmos Hub. So minting the NFTs there definitely made a lot of sense, especially with the relationship behind the scenes as well, and Lava providing services to Stargaze RPC.
Yeah, we're all big one happy family. I want to go ahead and let's see if there's any questions or comments from the community about the project here. Please request to speak, guys, and we'll get you up here. Looks like we've got a lot of people enjoying the art and the comments here too.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. If I could just run through some quick things from the recent weeks that we've done. I mean, there's definitely some things that we'd like to cover. It was the recent rewards distribution for data providers, for example. That happened last week. It was more than 60K in several native tokens for the past month. That happens every 17th. So the network participants, these are the people that work to help secure the network and the service that Lava provides. They earn from the incentive pools each month. So last week on the 17th, we had over 60K distributed. The team really excited that they're going to be at ETH Denver, so they're preparing for that. There's going to be some cool announcements and a fun side event. So if anyone's going to ETH Denver, definitely keep an eye out for Lava and our little side event that we're doing. And then the V5 version is coming soon. It's going to be a huge upgrade for the Lava mainnet. It's going to introduce some extra provider reputation and improvements for quality of service, which from a user perspective just basically means that whenever you're using a chain that Lava provides to, this may really help with that. Those are the recent milestones. Anyway, back to any questions. If
It looks like Chai Boy, here's a question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. I think you're muted, Chai Boy.
Okay. First off, I would just like to congratulate the Stargaze ecosystem. Like, bro, I've never seen a marketplace like the experience I had in minting the NFT was just very smooth. Like at first, because I think this is my second NFT. I've been minting on my crypto. At first, I was actually afraid that I will not be minting it because maybe the marketplace will be that bad or something like that. But to the sudden surprise, I went there. I don't minted it as smooth as possible. Like I did not have any flow, so I don't want to give a huge shout out to the Stargaze team. First off, then I don't want to know what really inspired this art. I want to know about the artwork. What really inspired it? Why choose Fox?
That's a really great question. That's a fun question too. I'm definitely happy to dive into that. Well, full transparency, we had a few options from the Lava mascots. So the art that we'd done for the Lava mascots, we had a few. We had a cat, we had a Pepe, we had a sort of devilish Lavucci character inspired from a TV show. Quite fun Web3 mascots. And a fox. The fox was one that we hadn't actually utilized very much in the past. And so when we were coming to making the NFTs, we thought, well, okay, there's a ton of cats on many different blockchains already. There's a ton, probably billions of Pepes, or at least hundreds of millions, I would say. And so when we looked at it, we thought, well, okay, foxes can definitely be something that we work well with. And so we had the artist do a couple of sample pieces. We chose a few different animals, actually. And you'll see that in the 1 out of 1s, which would be on the collection. Actually, some of the 1 out of 1s in the collection, that means that there's only one of them. They were the original samples that we got from the artist. We always planned to have those as 1 of 1s. And so it was an octopus, it was a fox, it was a phoenix, and it was one other one that I don't remember right now. The fox made sense because one thing we wanted to bring through was the speed of lava, and also the way that the fox as an animal just it runs everywhere. It's sort of in the shadows. You don't see it. It's very fast. It's almost invisible. And that's the service that lava provides behind the scenes. So I think fox works really well for us.
Okay, that is actually nice. So I have like three more questions. Well, my second question is, so Stargaze, like I know, like what's your take on the Fox NFT? Like what's your take on the Fox NFT? The Stargaze?
This is a question for Stargaze.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean we love it.
Yeah, foxes from Stargaze perspective.
Oh yeah, I mean, we love it. Like I personally love pixel art, right? Some of the OG collections on Stargaze were pixel art, and we don't really have a top fox collection. I think it's a great character to go after. Some of the traits are really nice, and I think it's just really great to have some more variety. And we love having new chains and new collections that people really like on here. So I like the foxes. I like the animals. I always kind of wanted a pet fox as a kid, so I'm very very happy with how everything turned out. And again, congratulations on the quick mint, guys. I see it's trading pretty well already.
Okay. So just two more questions before I drop. Are they like I want to know. So what are we expecting next from the Fox after the NFT? Like what are we expecting next for the NFT holders? Like, is there anything expecting new? Is there be any private Discord channel for us or something like that?
What was that last part? Was that about roles?
Yeah, private channels for the holders or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, we've already got a holders channel. I think that's pretty normal. That's definitely something that we've done. Our main focus here is really two things. It's driving home the lava vision of providing services to other chains and being recognized for that. And then, of course, bringing the community together and uniting them under one PFP. The Foxes, they're really going to be a community-driven initiative. That's the main focus. That's what we can comment on at the moment. If there's anything else coming, then we're definitely gonna let everyone know in announcement.
Okay. Like once again, a huge shout out to the Stargaze team. Like, bro, your marketplace is actually nice. I emitted my NFT very smoothly, and a huge shout out to Adeyi for he was one of the guys that gave me the whitelist. Yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I can't wait to see what the Fox team and the Lava Network and the Stargaze team code for us next.
Thank you very much, T-Boy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too, boy. And this isn't Lava's first NFT, right? You guys did the Lava Revenue Switch commemorative NFT. Do you want to say any words about that one?
Yeah, for sure. That was also a huge milestone for us. And I think that's really what snowballed all of this in the first place and bringing out these PFPs, because the commemorative NFTs, they were released as a celebration for what we called the revenue switch. And that was the moment that Lava went from only distributing Lava tokens to network participants to distributing tokens from all the incentive pools. So anytime a new chain sets up an incentive pool on Lava, like I mentioned before, and use Lava for their service, then the providers and the network participants, in exchange for their work, they earn from that pool. And so previously it was only Lava tokens being distributed, but now the tokens from the other chains are being distributed as well. That was a few months ago. To celebrate that, we released the commemorative NFT. And then today, we were excited to announce that, or we will be announcing soon. It's already happened though, that we Fox dropped. I love that term, by the way. Fox dropped an NFT to each of the commemorative holders, just to make it so that the commemorative holders didn't have to go out and mint themselves. They just had to sit back and enjoy the celebration.
Yeah, nice, quick, easy guys. Want to give us a call out?
I wanted to jump back. Yeah, I was going to say Brady. Is that what you were going to call out as well? I think Brady was about to say something before.
Me? Oh, it was previously about foxes. There's a complicated history with foxes on Stargaze. So I was going to joke about. There's been a couple collections, but there was one that's like ended up kind of being a little bit of a rug pull called the FOMO foxes. But I don't know if you guys heard anything about that, but we had one.
It's quite ironic. It's not.
But there's another one that was launched.
It's not something that we realize.
Yeah, no. It's just kind of funny.
Go ahead.
But there was that FOMO one, and then there was one that people launched right before it because they were like skeptical about that one launching. So these people launched this one called like First Foxes to like front run it. So it's kind of like a funny, like kind of community lore to foxes generally on Stargaze. Going back.
Rug 2 did it.
First Foxes? No, that's Blue Chip.
The second one, First Foxes. Oh, Blue Chip. Okay, good. They're good name. We'll be with them. That's fine. Maybe we can collab with them.
I mean, some of the best collections have rugged and gone on to live pretty sick lives aftermarket. I gotta say, I've always wanted a fox too ever since I was a kid, and I watched David the Gnome, and he would ride around on a fox. Man, I thought that shit was so cool. I wanted one so bad. And then I turned into an adult and learned that you can't really ride a fox, so here we are, minting fox NFTs.
Not yet.
Not yet, exactly. I'm working on also breeding snails large enough to ride. They're not as fast as foxes, but I think people are going to be pretty damn pleased with the outcome. Is this a good time to shill a song? I was told I should come up here and shill my song. I have a song on Stargaze if you guys want to mint it. It's called Love Hate. I didn't know if I was stepping on 8 toes or not, but I brought my dancing boots, so here we are.
We're giving these guys just a minute just because I know they have to run. But there's other things you have to show because Shane was on Rack FM earlier today, so maybe we can check that a little bit too. But maybe we can give a day and just a little bit more time because I know they could just hop on for a few minutes to start here.
Yeah, all good. I'll stick around. All good.
So you guys have Marketplace. I think trading is open a day. I was wondering. I know like you didn't have too much time, so I was wondering if there's anything else you wanted to like cover before you head out.
I think that pretty much covers everything. I'm happy with what we covered, and I'm looking forward to coming back next week and doing the proper space. If I'm there, otherwise it'll be our core contributor. Yeah, he knows a lot more about how lava works than I do, so I think it'd be really interesting for people to hear from Yeah on that subject as well.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you for coming up and looking forward to chatting again. Trading's going well. Seeing a bunch of foxes on the timeline here, and it's pretty much taking up the current sales on the front page. So we'll be seeing a lot more foxes in the next coming days and weeks for sure. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, one of the most exciting things was the collaborations. Actually, a ton of work went into the collaborations behind the scenes, and we didn't close the doors on many projects that came looking. It was only when we weren't able to do any more because there were simply too many requests. So we kept it quite open. All kinds of projects from all over Web3 did collaborations with us, and even actually we did an unofficial, semi-official collaboration with Doodles, which was really fun to see as well. I posted that on my Twitter. So that was one of the most exciting things in my opinion as well, bringing all communities from all over Web3 from different chains. And that's exactly what Lava is about. It's about providing to different chains throughout Web3 and providing a great service and bringing people together. So I think that concludes it for me.
Great. Actually, a quick question for you. Is this your first NFT project you've been involved with? Or have you been involved with other ones? And kind of, if so, just want to get your overall experience with Stargaze and kind of how it compares to other places.
Yeah, sure. Well, this is the first time that I've actually done any of the processes myself. So I don't have a behind the scenes perspective on the functions or how the other minting platforms or launch pads work. I think from a user perspective, I would have really loved the minting process on Stargaze if I was minting myself. I think that especially with a long, reasonably slow, it was 7 hours guaranteed phase. People had plenty of time to mint. I think it went really smoothly. From a user perspective, I love it. And I also think that the UI, it works really well. I don't have behind the scenes comparisons of any other launch pads or anything like that.
All right. Well, that's great for us. Also a great time to shout out Stardy, Brady, and Sirkin, who helps all these projects launch. Thank you again, guys, for being the bedrock of Launchpad.
And shout out a day. You were really good at like landing the plane the last week and like super responsive. So it was smooth from our perspective working with you. So congrats.
Thank you. That's great to hear. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it was definitely a priority. I mean, this is something that the community loves and the community has been asking for. So putting my time into that, it definitely the right thing to do. I'm happy to hear that feedback. Thank you.
Well, thanks again for joining, and we'll be chatting with you again soon. We could move on to Finn and have him show his music right now,
And his snails.
and the snails, and Shane.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Bye.
Have a good
Have a
day.
good day. Yeah, have a good night.
Well, first off, shout out to you guys for fixing the site. It all loads now, which is awesome. I'm glad that wasn't just me being dumb.
No, that was
It was awesome, though. It works really well now. I know you crashed it right when my song hits, and now people are like, where's the song? We can't sort by new. They're like, fuck that guy.
good. We saw a new Rack FM release. Okay, we gotta deplatform these guys. That was the
So
plan.
good. He wants to be canceled. We'll let him see canceled. Okay. No, it's cool. Everything loads really smooth now, actually. So good job. But yeah, Love Hate. It's just a new track, a little standalone fun. We dropped, I think, on Valentine's Day, but public's minting now. So if anyone wasn't on the 18,000 address whitelist, I don't know why you wouldn't have been, but if you weren't, you can definitely go mint it now for public. So definitely appreciate everyone's support on the music front as we continue along. And yeah, I should have been more prepared. That's all I had. And the snails are coming along nicely.
Yeah, you said you're selectively breeding them. You're trying to get them bigger and bigger.
Yes, we selectively breed for the large ones, and eventually, kind of like in that movie, The Never-Ending Story, that dude rode around that giant snail. That's kind of my goal before I die. That's my legacy, is to leave behind a snail large enough to ride. So we're not quite there yet, but I feel like a few more generations and we will be there. So it's pretty exciting. They're like, I don't know if people know this. They're like goldfish. You know, the bigger the cage you put them in, the bigger they'll get. So they'll just like keep getting big, which is cool.
Is this gonna also be like a side project for some snail mucin you're gonna be selling?
Right, basically. Like that G-Force movie with the fucking guinea pigs. I've been teaching these snails lots of craft work and everything. It's pretty good. A lot of spycraft goes into the love of these snails.
Sort of like your personal Mars mission, you know?
Yes, also. I have a lot of missions.
Did you want to say anything about the track Love Hate that you dropped, though? And it's about it?
I don't know what there is to say. I always like to say that my tracks kind of just speak for themselves, so I don't have to. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a track. I think I made the beat for it, if I remember correctly. It's been a long week, but I think that was all me. And then I did the raps, and then yeah, I think Robo Rack FM is working on that whole golden ticket thing where you'll be able to just mint an NFT and get every track from the next album we're working on just airdrop to you without having to actually like go to a site and click a button. Like it'll just show up, so you don't gotta like follow it or worry about it. So I'm actually pretty stoked about that. And the new album coming along quite nicely. Can have a bunch of beats from my man Hossein, who did a lot of the beats for the earlier EPs. If you guys remember, all of the good beats that weren't me were him. So yeah, looking forward to that. I think it's a cool way to drop it. And one of the things I always hear in all these different group chats we're in is people are like, man, I missed this thing because I didn't go to this site to click on this claim button. And it's like, why should I have to do that? I'm already holding the NFT. Like, is that not enough? I have to like constantly keep up with 15 different projects to like see what I should be clicking on that day, which I mean, I get it. You want traffic going to your site or whatever. I really don't care about that. I just want people to be happy and be able to get the music. So I think this will be a cool way to achieve that and let people support what we're building and be able to get this next album just dropped to them. They'll just wake up one day and they'll be like, oh shit, new track dropped. I didn't even have to click a button to get it.
I think that's a good thing to to try out, because like I mint, you know, pretty much all of your stuff, but there's definitely ones that I'll just, you know, on whatever's going on for a few days, and then you got Robo in the DMs yelling at you because you didn't mint, because he tracks every single person.
Bro, he yells at me. I'm like, dude, I made the song. He's like, it doesn't matter, you daft cunt. You gotta go mint your music. I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm going.
Yeah, if it's something where you can just get the subscription, get them dropped to you, I think that's a pretty fun model.
Yeah, I think I don't think anyone's really doing that yet. So I mean, if they are, whatever. I haven't heard of them. So I think we're the first. We're pioneering this this technique. Oh, you let him up. See, shouldn't have let him up. Now we're gonna hear it.
So,
What's up?
I mean, Brady's on the money. You know, Barry, the band manager, always like looking at the bigger picture. All the risk is on us. I keep trying to like express the fact that like there's two massive risk on factors for us. The first one is we've got credibility, right? We've earned this right. We've earned, you know, we've been in the trenches, right? We've earned our stripes, yeah? We are as real as it gets and as straight as it gets, and we're as honest as it gets with what we've dropped and what we've done. We say we'll deliver, right? There might be a little delay, but we deliver. So credibility is number one, right? Second, that's going to come in here is it, I mean, Finn, wait a second before we go here. Finn, do I put any pressure on you? Like, can we explain to the room? Do you like feel that you've got, I don't know, someone or some force pushing you along this road or not?
I thought it was Jesus at first, but it's not Jesus. It's Robo gently guiding me along down the trail. I look back and I see two sets of footsteps, and then I see one set of footsteps, and I'm like, why did you leave me? And he says, no, you pleb cunt. That's where I carried you. And so it's only the motivation I need, I feel like, which is good. Every artist needs that, especially rappers, because we are fucking lazy. If you know a rapper, you know that firsthand.
So coupled with the fact that the credibility is under threat, there's also the financial aspect. If it's like still like what, 33 or 36 like dollars an OE mint, and you know, if we sell 10 subscriptions, like we're massively underwater. If we sell 20 subscriptions, it ain't too bad, but it's still horrendous. Like, we'd have to do at $25, we'd have to do at least 50 subscriptions, right? To be able to promise like a long-term project, that which we are promising. And this is where Brady comes in and the Stargaze team that a lot of people might not realize. This is why you pick the brains of the best in the industry. We'd never thought about this. Brady's like, well, if you do this, you should keep it open for like 6 months and you should be able to backdate it. And I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. I've never even thought about that. And that's one of the beauties about the Stargaze, like community and how it works. And if you're part of the family, the vibe, what we want to build. Obviously, we had Shane on tonight. Yeah, it was great. But like Brady, like I was like, Finn, Brady said we should keep it open for 6 months. That makes sense, doesn't it? And he's like, of course it does. Like, and we can mint extra ones ourselves. So like, if we've got like people who come in really late in the day, we can like maybe drop like backdated like copies and editions. So yeah, I mean, it's not an easy, this is not an easy decision by any stretch of the imagination. And Finn will tell you, me, him, and Beto, B-Bands, and several others like Brady and Shane, and a few others. We've been talking about this like actually quite seriously, and we think we can do it. And especially what's just happened with Sound XYZ. So Sound XYZ obviously announced that they're not making any further updates. A lot of musicians are really pissed off. They're having to transition their whole collections to a whole other platform. Some are moving from like, say, like an L2, like Arbitrum, where Sound XYZ was, to like a core L1 project, like on Ethereum. Like, people in the music industry right now, I mean, it's a mixed up, shook up world, as a famous song once said, but it's a true story. You try and be right now trying to do what we're trying to do and trying to drop the things that we're trying to drop and trying to be innovative and trying to do this, it's not easy. And the key overall will always be with music is distribution. How do you get that song into as many hands as possible? You know, how do you couple maybe any like momentum on X, like with like the NFT? Like, you know, do you drop on the NFT like, 24 hours in advance? Then do you get it on X so that people want to go and get the NFT? There's a lot of questions, unfortunately, but they'll get better that still remain within the remit of like music NFTs and building a brand and doing what you're doing. I just know one thing. Finn's been doing this for like nearly 20 years. I've only come in, in the last couple of years. I'm determined to make him as big as I can. And I think also Stargaze is fundamental. If you look at Beats by Governance, we've had so much fun. We've done things that no one else has done. And it doesn't matter if you only mint 40, 50, whatever. People on XYZ were only minting like 15, 20 copies, right? They were crying for mints. And now Sound XYZ is up in smoke. You know, Stargaze is extremely, I think, and I'm going to really work this hard this year to attract musicians to Stargaze, like Fondue and people that's been pissed off on other platforms. I think Stargaze is just really well positioned to have this like musical collectible market. Like any musician should want to drop on Stargaze, and that's what we're gonna keep fighting this, Brady and Rowan. We're gonna keep fighting this like fight as long as it like needs to keep going. Is that like we believe there is a place for this, and we've seen the updates, we've seen the support. I mean, come on. What's not a look?
I'm gonna keep going until there's a dedicated music link section on Stargaze that you click on, and there's just tons of different music in there. Not just mine, but like tons of different shit. I think that would be dope.
We've told them
We have just on that, like we have kind of quarterly now. We're gonna do these like art drops. We do like 4 features at a time of when people are doing like OEs or like unique art that maybe doesn't otherwise get the visibility it deserves, on the site. And maybe it'd be fun to do one of those that's like a music drop. If we could onboard a couple more musicians and you have like 4, like 1 week on the front page, there's kind of 4 different tracks featured. That might be fun to do in the summer or something. Just thinking out loud here. But that's, yeah, I mean, I think that for me at least, anything that's like kind of pushing a little bit outside of the norm is fun. Like multimedia NFTs, if it's people doing short videos, short animations, same so with music, right? So, and it takes a lot of work, right? Especially when it's something that's a little bit out of like I said, kind of like the market norm. You're not going to get the same level of minting or action on it just naturally because it's it's a little bit unique. But you can still, I don't know, you get a following, you get people coming back. So excited for the new approach.
Brady, I'll make a point here that I've been thinking about for the last like 3 days, whatever, is that, Sounder XYZ, right, as a DApp, yeah, it's quite easy to fold in a DApp and say, oh, we're not going to update it, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. You try and do that with a chain. A lot of people, won't realize is that like the Stargaze like app or DApp, right, is like so integrated and instrumental to the actual like chain itself. Like there's a whole nother level of like reliability and a kind of like a redundancy like exit that's just not there. Like do you know what I mean? It's not like Stargaze can just like fold overnight and your music collection goes to shit, right? That's there. There's blocks. It's a very, very Stargaze is highly positioned, I think, to be the ultimate collectibles market outside of the main chains like Ethereum. I really believe this, honestly, outside of Ethereum. And I don't even want to mention Solana in the same, like outside of Ethereum, Stargaze is probably one of the best collectible markets out there.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. It's no bias here.
I mean, that's why we're all here, right? That's why we're here. We're not paying $25 to mint an NFT just in gas. We're only paying like, fractions of a penny to mint an NFT. Like, that's why we're here, boys.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you guys, Rack FM, you guys were such big supporters of what we were doing at Signal early on. You know, just like these small releases of kind of weird stuff, like glitchy graphics and things like that. And it wasn't a project that was ever intended to be like, you know, like a big revenue source or anything. It's just like a fun art project. And like we got so into the ecosystem, you know what I mean? So I know exactly where you're coming from in terms of like, I don't know, just a feeling of like building with it and
Brady, can you remember when you
security and strength.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's get this room on the real show. Brady, can you remember when you were in Bangkok and you were showing us all the preview of the art for the second batch of the Signal stuff, right? Can you remember when you were on your phone, you were showing us like you were so excited? Dude, that was...
I don't remember too much about our night out, to be honest, but yeah, no, yeah, it was really fun.
Probably for the best. Probably for the best. The mind remembers what it needs to.
Exactly, yeah. Selective, strategic select memory.
He showed us like all the preview of the art before like any of the NFTs came out, the second batch of what they did. Man, it was so cool. Like just seeing this passion, you know, there's something about passion and the fever that people have for like things. You're like, you've got to respect, you know, and also I hate to use the word like adulation, but like I was talking to shit that day, you know, and I had the uttermost adulation for the project, for the vision, for what he's launched. I mean, pretty much it started with this guy. And like the interview went exactly how we thought. Like you've got to have like, I mean, look, in Cosmos, we've had a lot of L's. Let's say that's right. Right? Stargaze, Rowan has been a massive fucking W for the whole, for Cosmosm, for the whole thing, what we're seeing now, you know, the move to like full permissionless, whatever it is. The hub, even the hub conversation. I think you've just got to take your hat off where it's due. There are projects that have just exceeded anyone's expectations. And after the night space and everything else, and listen to you guys and what you've allowed us to do. That's what happened. Is like nobody expected Stargaze to be this good, but it is. And well, let's make it even better.
I pinned, if anyone wants to listen back to it, I pinned the your space with Shane earlier. I wonder, did you want to touch on like anything you guys covered? I didn't get to listen to it myself. I had to do other things, but curious, like any you know short points from those conversations.
Not really. To be honest with you, I would have to say, Brady, on that note, that everybody should have to go back and listen to it to actually get the full.
That's a good show.
Here's an example. Here's an example. How about this? I'm a host, and I missed what Shane said at the beginning, and then I asked about outposts much later in the space, not knowing that he'd already talked about it. So what we do is at Rack FM, we've all got this agreement. Whenever we finish a recorded space, a proper interview, the first thing we all do is go back and listen. We jump in the group chat, Finn will tell you, and we talk about it, right? We discuss every show. Immediately, we talk about what we did right, what we did wrong, what we should have mentioned. And dude, I'm going to have to say that everybody should have to actually go back and listen to this, because we asked some community questions, yes, but we just asked like a lot of normal stuff. And I have to, you know, this is going to sound weird, but there's a few like real visionaries of Cosmos that are in a certain like circle, you know, within a certain remit. You're talking Sonny, right? You're talking Greg over at Akash. You're talking Shane. Like, these people are in a different league to a lot of the other shit that you listen to on a daily basis. But the one thing, honestly, I went back and I listened and I was like, fucking hell, man. I like outposts was a question I had like lined up for much later. I didn't even realize that he'd like mentioned outposts in the first like 3 sentences or something that he said. Like when he's like, we want Stargaze to be everywhere. And I thought about this for a long time, you know, building up this interview, which has been in the works for about a month. I was like, this blue chip thing has been kind of bugging me a little bit. Everyone in the room, I want you to reflect. Right? Take yourself out of the Ethereum blue chip NFTs, right? the bored apes and the punks and obviously, you know, the penguins, whatever, right? And ask yourself, look around all the other chains and maybe take ordinals. As I did say tonight, take ordinals out the equation as well. Look around the entire eco. Go and find me like a little collection of blue chips like Sloss, like Bad Kids, like Mad Scientist, like some others on a particular because Stargaze is like it's almost a niche of a niche. So how come a niche of a niche chain? Finn, we've talked about this a lot, right? He knows. How come they can produce so many quality like blue chips? It's quite surprising.
Few words. Babu Pangu. That's why. It's got to be it. Is Babu Pangu on any other chain? I don't think so. So therefore,
One. How about another one? And also, I'll tell you what, I hope, Ron, and Brady, if you can give me a minute, I want to state something very clearly. I can't remember whose space it was. About a month ago. It might have been the Home Pleb Ambassador Lounge that's on Monday at 10 a.m. EST. It might have been Brady's like art space. We were on a space and someone who was quite prominent, I think an artist or whatever, was talking about Shane, you know, not being on enough spaces. And our counter argument was like, why would you want them to be? I'm very sorry, but anybody who thinks that like the proper hardcore dev should be on like spaces like 2 or 3 times a week, like, dude, you're losing your mind. Like, they're too busy building. The one thing that's always irritated us is that as devs where they're on spaces like every day and they're on 2 or 3 spaces. Like Finn's giving emojis, right? Finn, how long have we talked about this now? 2 years, 3 years? I'm pretty sure we've talked about this for a long time, right? Is it like when you dev?
all that means is that the Fiverr dev is doing all the work, and the dev that you're seeing front facing, public facing is just out there, you know, just dicking off in spaces. Which, I mean, fine, if that's how it works, then that's how it works. But those projects tend to not be they're a little lackluster, if you get my meaning.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. Basically, if Shane's not on spaces, he's like building. So like anybody who thinks that like he's not like forward facing or but you've got the wrong idea. You've totally got the wrong idea of how like this shit works in like the real world. Anyway, Brady, it's late for me. Rowan, mind, Zergen, thank you very much. All yous have done, yous have been amazing. But yes, I am gonna kind of like drop down to a listener now. But for anyone that's like, where's Shane? Where's Shane? Well, he's where he needs to be. You know, it's quite simple. Anyway, Brady, Rowan, you're class people, man, by the way.
Thank you very much for popping out, Robo. Always a pleasure chatting with you. I've always got a lot to say, so I'm glad you said it. And thanks for the compliments always. This is an open space, guys. So if anyone wants to come up here and chat about what they're working on, how things have been going, I know it looks like we have Snails in the audience, Fruitopia, who just launched recently, and a bunch of new faces here. If you guys have questions about just how Stargaze works, how to be featured, how to launch a collection, if you want to come and yell at us for something that didn't work out, you know, now's the opportunity, but you know, you may get yelled back at, so just be prepared for that.
Yeah, we got Finn up here. We got the muscle. So I wanted to show really quick you mentioned before, but just to reiterate, Monday there's the Cosmos Awards like ceremony. Snails put that whole thing together with Maria and Tangled, who's very active on Omniflix. I think they did a really good job like organizing that whole thing. There's a lot of effort that went into it. It's gonna be fun. There's a lot of Stargaze, you know, projects and individuals, you know, that are active here representing that. So that'll be fun on Monday. And I know that Catare and Aura have open edition launching tomorrow, which is a interesting collab between, you know, Catare does like calligraphy work, you know, hand done calligraphy. Aura is does a lot of different things, but it's this kind of mix of some of the calligraphy and then collage and with a little graphic there too. So that's pretty neat. So that's pinned up there too. And Snails came up.
Yo. Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for shilling that. I just got home. I was just listening in the bar, had left it up on my computer, had to run out. So I heard you say it second time. So appreciate the shield there. But yeah, Monday 2 p.m. UTC, which is 9 a.m. EST. Yeah, Maria and I will be concluding the Cosmos Awards. And I think every winner besides Osmosis said that they could make it. So yeah, some overlap in the awards, but excited to get everybody up on one space. And yeah, the first year was a pretty good space with hosted by Victoria and Maria. So me hosting, I'll probably screw it up somehow, but looking forward to it. We'll also be launching the NFT trophy on Stargaze. So a bunch of badges for the people to claim, and then it will also be doing a open edition of the trophy for everybody to collect. So yeah, a few things coming to Stargaze additionally, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of work, but yeah, the art's pretty cool. So I'm excited for people to see what that looks like.
Yeah, thanks. Looking forward to the space coming up. You guys have always been pretty helpful and very educative. I don't know if that's the right word for the community with all of your posts. So thanks for all of that.
It's our pleasure.
Any questions or comments for the Stargaze team? We've got about 7-ish minutes before the space is wrapping up here.
On education too, maybe it's more like peer-to-peer advice, but there's the Art DAO space tomorrow. It's co-hosted by Maria and Archer from Goodfellas. Archer Goodfellas launched in the summer, so still, like, I'd say relatively new in Stargaze ecosystem. Maybe not everyone's chatted with him, but I think he's a really interesting guy to chat with. Has a pretty good perspective on marketing and building like small, specifically stuff for like, small collections and attracting collectors and preserving value and things like that. So they're doing like a session on just attracting collectors tomorrow, which I think will be a pretty good discussion. So I just wanted to shout that out, that there's that space happening tomorrow. And yeah, if anyone wants to hop up, please do. If they have any further questions or comments or anything like that.
Yeah, what's good, guys? So yeah, I just really want to ask. I'm trying to purchase this Lava Fox NFT, but the transaction keeps failing. I don't know what's the problem with that.
You probably open it. Are you in Stargaze Discord?
No, I'm not on Stargaze Discord.
If you hop in the Discord, open a ticket, we can probably help you out.
All right, cool. All right,
You can send some screenshots. We can figure out exactly what's going on and get you sorted out there.
all right, cool.
Yeah, this collection's doing about, looks like it's done about 3 million stars in volume since it minted out about 55 minutes ago. So it may be possible that the NFT you want to get is just constant. It's just getting sold right when you're doing the transaction. So hopefully we can figure that out for you. Another little update is we are working with CoinGecko to get all the numbers sorted out. And as well as with CryptoSlam. If you look at the actual data, Stargaze is actually number 10 or 11 in terms of chains, NFT market volume. So that puts us in pretty good company. Once we get the data figured out, the chart will look a lot nicer. Put us in the top half. Yeah, I don't know if should we call it there? Pretty much at the end. Anybody else have anything to say? Any of the new faces here want to pop up and say hi? I think this might be it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, Finn, you got anything else you wanted to say? Always,
Man, thanks for the mic, thanks for the space, and yeah, looking forward to been enjoying Home Pleb spaces and of course the art spaces. So lots of content, always lots of content.
You forgot the call to action, Finn. Where's the call to action in your?
Go mint my song, Love Hate on Stargaze, you fucking plebs. God damn it. See, this is why every project needs a Robo, because I hate shilling my own shit, but he can shill my shit for me. I appreciate it. But yeah, no, if you like my music or if you just like rap, go check it out. Love Hate, a ton of stuff over there on the Finn Raps thing on Stargaze. So check it out. Appreciate y'all.
Awesome. Thanks for popping up, Finn. And everyone have a great rest of your day. And we will see you guys next week. All right. Have a good one. Bye.